Hi students, it's Miss Allie. I am doing a part 2 video lesson on poetry. So you should have watched the first video, Introduction to Poetry, and now this is the second video. Pretty much just going into the deeper meanings behind poetry. And so let's get started with some notes. You should have a lined piece of paper out and you should be taking notes. The benefit of watching these videos at home is that you can pause it and feel free to write down questions that you can ask during check-in. Please let me know if you have any questions, and please feel free to email me if you are having trouble viewing these lessons online, which of course, why would you email me? You're obviously watching the video. Anyways, what is poetry? In poetry, the sound and meaning of words are combined to express feelings, thoughts, and ideas. The poet has obviously chosen these words very carefully, and poetry is usually written in lines, and that's usually for a specific reason. So guys, that's just a really cool introduction video to get us started. So rhyming, rhymes are words that end in the same sound. Cat, hat, bat, those all rhyme. Rhyming sounds don't have to always spell the same way. So cloud and aloud rhyme, but they're not spelled the same. Rhyming is the most common sound device for poetry. So rhyming patterns, this is really important to take notes on. This will carry you through pretty much all of high school, and if you pursue college, college classes go over this when they discuss poetry. Poets can choose from a variety of different rhyming patterns, and so there's going to be different examples coming up, but AABB, the first two lines will rhyme, and then the third and fourth line will rhyme. ABAB, lines 1 and 3 rhyme, and lines 2 and 4 rhyme. ABBA, lines 1 and 4 rhyme, and lines 2 and 3 rhyme. ABCB, lines 2 and 4 rhyme, and lines 1 and 3 do not rhyme. AABB rhyming pattern. So this is just a quick little thing a quick little example that will show you AABB. Snow makes whiteness where it falls. The bushes look like popcorn balls. And places where I always play look like somewhere else today. And so you can see falls and balls rhyme. And then play and today, they rhyme. So falls and balls, AA, play and today, BB. And guys, these are just like, you could make it X and Y, like X, X, Y, Y. It's just representing that those two lines have the same sound and the next two lines have the same sound. So here's ABAB. I love noodles, give me oodles. Make a mound up to the sun. Noodles are my favorite foodles. I eat foodles by the ton. And so obviously oodles and foodles rhyme. So there's where that A and then oodles and sun don't rhyme. So AB, but then Foodles does, so it's A-B-A-B, because then sun and ton, those sound the same. Feel free to pause these and just kind of make some notes about the end. You don't have to necessarily write the whole thing down, that whole stanza, but just write down the end part so you can kind of understand, like, how is A, B, A, B, how are those sounding the same? This is literally just a pattern that we're noticing over and over again in poetry. A, B, B, A, let me fetch sticks, let me fetch stones. Throw me your bones, teach me your tricks. And so now we see that sticks and tricks rhyme, and we see stones and bones rhyme. And so if sticks and tricks, AA, and then those middle ones rhyme, so those are together, BB. AB, CB. And so the reason, so A was a whole sound that sounded similar. And so actually, let's go back real quick. When we go back to this, A is just the first letter we're thinking of. And so we look around and we see, do any of the other lines end with the same sound as sticks? And that's how we found tricks. And so sticks and tricks rhyme, so they both have that A rhyming sound. And so that's why we give it that A. Stones and bones, they both sound the same, and we just assign them a letter, B. And so when we get down here and we're now introducing C, that's the next thing. And so pretty much that's just saying that A will have a different sound at the end, B will have a different sound, C will have a different sound, but then B will come back because those two will sound the same. The alligator chased his tail, which hit him in the snout. He nibbled, gobbled, swallowed it, and turned right inside out. And so we see tail, does tail rhyme with snout, it, or out? No, it does not. Snout, does snout rhyme with anything else we see? Yes, it rhymes with out. Snout, out, those sound the same, so they rhyme. That's how we get both of those being B. And then it, do we see anything that ends in a line that rhymes with it? No, we do not. And so that's how we get our A, nothing rhymes with tail, snout, that rhymes with out, and then it, which is just a new sound that we're being introduced to, and that's why we give it a C. So lines and stanzas. So often when I'm teaching poetry, students will say, oh, the second paragraph. And I'm like, no, it's stanza. And so, but it's often like what we think of when we think of a paragraph. And so we're reading this. Most poets are most poems are written in lines. A group of lines in a poem is called a stanza. Stanzas separate ideas in a poem, kind of like paragraphs. This poem has 2 stanzas. And so I think March is the actual title of this poem. A blue day, a blue jay, and a good beginning. One crow, melting snow, spring's winning. And so we see that they're separated, kind of like double spacing or entering. And so they're separate ideas, but they're one poem. And so a blue day, that is a line in a poem. A blue jay, another line. And a good beginning, another line. But all together create a stanza. So this is really important to know about. A quatrain is a poem or stanza written in 4 lines. This is the most common form of a stanza used in poetry. And these usually rhyme, but they don't have to. They can be written in a variety of rhyming patterns. And so here's just an example. It's kind of a fun example to read. And so anything with like quatrain, like that's, that beginning root part is 4. Figurative language is just another important note to make about painting pictures with alliterations and metaphors and similes, which we talked about in the last video. Please turn these notes in tomorrow, and please make sure to have a proper heading at the top. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great night.